All right, we've been here too long. Time to go. Mask up. And you guys will get a little bit of a view of this place as we walk outside. And then we're going to head over to the park. New Haven awaits. Let's go explore it. Thanks for powering up with me and charging up, getting some pizza into us. Hat on. Wait, Christopher Lloyd is from Stanford, Ryan says? Oh, well, there you go. Now I've got one of my faves because, come on, that wasn't the best. Oh. Pizza gimbal. Whoop. Hey, all right, made it outside, guys. Now, normally what would happen right now is that, not to spin you all the way, but normally I'd go down there, and there's a place called like Libby's, which does little desserts, and they do like the best limoncello ice cream that you could ever have. Hi there, sorry about that. Like Italian ice limoncello kind of flavor, really tasty. But we're gonna go put this in the car, and then we're gonna head over to Wooster Park, and then New Haven Green. We're gonna get as far as we can through New Haven, up through the Yale College campus, until it's been like an hour, you know, something like that. I don't wanna keep you guys for long. I really appreciate your company, but I also don't wanna monopolize you on a Tuesday, because I know you guys have other stuff going on. So please don't recognize this car, because I don't want you to come and steal the pizza out of it, because I really plan to eat the rest of this. I've eaten just enough to quiet. Whoops, sorry, I pulled the gimbal with the microphone. All right, okay, pizza's in the car, and we are good to walk. Hey, Ross. So Ross, what I was gonna say, but I can say it here instead, was that the guide for the Edinburgh Ghost Tour, his thing was, he said, his concern is that people will start to join the tour if you and Nikki follow along, and he's nervous about creating a crowd around it and then not complying with crowd stuff. I don't know. I mean, there's something there. And it is true that maybe you're walking around at 9 o'clock and suddenly there's 2, then there's 4, then there's 6. But did I lock the car door? Did you guys see if I did or not? Hold on a second. Lock. Lock. Yeah, it's locked. Okay. So welcome to the Italian-American neighborhood of Wooster Square over on this side of New Haven. It's incredible to think about it, but the beginning of the 1900s, the most populous ethnic demographic in New Haven at that point were Italians, mostly from that Naples area to start with. They'd been, lured over to come work in industry, like the Coke industry. Oh, thank you very much. It's very kind of you. Thank you. That's a very kind New England thing to do. Usually people don't do that so kindly. Why don't we just walk this way? We'll do a quick tree walk to take a look at some of these cherry blossoms. As you can see, they were in full bloom a couple days ago, and the little blossoms have started to come off of that. This area of New Haven is not an area that you would have really lived in if you were an undergraduate at Yale University. It was more a graduate student kind of neighborhood. And I think that it's entirely possible that my buddy Pete Fung and Linda Jarvin lived in one of these kind of brownstone buildings here. Maybe it was right around the corner. So here's a World War II Veterans Memorial, erected in memory of those from the 11th Ward who sacrificed their lives for their country during World War II. Teague, you're right, my mom is super supportive. It's her car that I'm in right now. She drove down to let me borrow her car until things get better in the old tourism industry. But you know what? Blessing and a curse. Like the last year, yeah, hardest year so far, but also learned a lot about how little I actually need in life to be happy. And that is kind of amazing. So when things come back, I think I'm gonna end up saving a lot of money, hopefully, for the next pandemic, the next 100-year comet to strike my tourism industry. But yeah, that's what it is. Aren't these beautiful? Really pretty. It's warmer here than it was over in Mystic. Are we still getting chop right now, guys, or is the connection better now that I'm outside of that restaurant? Let me know in the chat. Give me a quick, you're still choppy. I'm not gonna make it last for a long time if it's too choppy, but I just wanted to show you. I mean, what do you got, Dai, in Tokyo? What do you got? You got trees like this? Yeah, you do. Okay, fair enough. What do you got? Shohei, what do you got in Kyoto? You got trees like this? Okay, fine, maybe you do. But even in nice New Haven, we've got this stuff. Yeah, much better? Okay. Great. Shannon, Pamira, Diana, and Michelle, thank you all for chiming in and letting me know. Hey, look at these guys. Just hanging out, being happy. Some joy. And this little guy, he's like, maybe they've got food for me. Oh, hi little squirrel. If you guys haven't seen the anti-squirrel bird trap video on YouTube, you should watch that. It's maybe my favorite thing to watch every once in a while, and how ingenious squirrels are, how incredible they are. Lots of old Catholic churches around here, as you would imagine. This is St. Michael's. Never been in there, but it makes sense because of the large Italian American population that we would have had here and continue to have here, but dominant population that New Haven would have known. Now, New Haven not founded originally by Italians, originally founded in the early 1600s by British colonists. And these guys who showed up were definitely Puritans, and they were absolutely coming via Boston and then relocating down here into the Connecticut colony. Let's just walk this edge, and then we're going to head north from here and head into New Haven proper. I'm just going to make sure, if you don't mind, you can't tell, but with my other hand right now, I'm actually just giving myself directions on my backup phone. So that way, as I haven't been here in a little bit of time, I don't want to get lost. All right, 12-minute walk, and then we're going to be in the green. But we do actually kind of need to go back this way. So, oh yeah, Ross, of course. I mean, I thought it was an awesome offer. Ross and Nikki were going to follow along in Edinburgh, where they live themselves, and follow the ghost tour. I'd originally asked them if they'd be interested because I thought it would be, it's weird. So I thought that they'd be really interested. I thought it'd be interesting for them to jump out and scare the bejesus out of the guide. And they thought, well, it would be fun to follow along with the guide. Maybe that would be interesting. But the guide suggested, nah, maybe not, because I don't want a crowd following. Shannon says the video quality doesn't seem to be that sharp for her right now. And if anyone else is experiencing the same thing, I'm going to say it's not because of Shannon's server connection right now, that it might be me. If you guys feel also that it might not be that sharp right now, then either it's the bandwidth that's an issue. Thank you for experimenting with live streams. Of course, this is live. You are right now at this very moment in New Haven, Connecticut, not on a video, unless you're watching this as a video later on. But if you're watching it right now, how would you know? Well, it's April 20th at like 5:30 in the afternoon. Yes, Shannon, it might be your server slowing down just a little bit. But Jeanette says it's close to sharp, but not quite. You know what I'm gonna try doing? I'm just gonna make sure that I don't have any pizza grease on this side. Let's try. Quick live repair. Well, that's as clean as it's gonna get. Sorry for the car ride there. Oh gosh, this is beautiful, huh guys? Really pretty. Oh, the light on these. Let's get the other side. Oh. There's a slight fragrant smell, and it's just really neat. Oh, do you see how it's like snowing? It's so cool. Whoop. Hi Diana, thank you for the so pretty. Nessia, thank you. Muito obrigado. Obrigadísimo, as they say. Yeah. All right, we've got to keep moving because I'm just gonna start pacing it out a little bit here. I don't know this part of town that well because the reason why I would normally come down here is to like eat pizza, maybe even drink beer, crazy enough. And then eventually I would make this walk that we're now on together and head back to Yale campus. New Haven is not the state capital of Connecticut. Hartford is the state capital of Connecticut. Hartford, famous for at one time being also the insurance capital of the US, I believe. Whether that's true or it's just what we said. That's where the state capital is. But I know, as it turns out, I went to both high school and college with the mayor of Hartford. We used to ride the bus from Greenwich, Connecticut. Well, he lived in Darien, and when we were 14 and 15 and 16 and 17-year-olds, we rode the bus together up to Exeter, New Hampshire, like 4 times a year for breaks and such. But New Haven is the capital of New Haven County. Hi there, hello. And it's a town that I lived in for 6 years. Hold on a second. Yeah, my YouTube, Diana, thank you for that. My YouTube settings are probably set at auto as well. I set this event up in literally 30 seconds. So it's completely possible that I messed something up. The good news is that I will definitely save this video later on as a high res because I don't mess that up. Looks like my sidewalks disappeared over here. I'm gonna go this way instead. Oh, I mean, great news that just came in on my phone as I was making sure I was going the right way. Derek Chauvin has been convicted of the murder of George Floyd, whose final moments sparked global protests over police brutality. Whew. Honestly, a sigh of relief there that I don't believe in making these things political. And yeah, you guys know where I stand on most of that stuff. And it just could not I won't go into any more detail about it, but for those of you who are watching that stuff, I'm really happy that that the jury, you know, had the strength to go through and follow justice. So, yeah, Diana, exactly right. Okay, so Shannon, it's running in 720 now. Do you think what was maybe happening was that my phone automatically set itself, or the like YouTube set it to be at a lower stream quality perhaps, in order to, because it didn't think I was going to have the bandwidth, but now it's adjusted back the other direction? Huh, I wonder. Okay, so this bridge takes us back into the downtown area of New Haven. There aren't a lot of skyscrapers in New Haven whatsoever, and I can already start to see some of the Gothic architecture from Yale kind of poking out from the other sides of some of these high-rise buildings. A lot of Connecticut towns after the 1960s started to really struggle, especially the bigger cities. And as a lot of industry left, left Connecticut, it had a hardship. And there was a lot of abandoned buildings throughout New Haven. It actually became like a paradise for me. Even though I was a psychology student, I spent a lot of time taking pictures and looking towards photography as a potential option for me. And my dad, who was already quite perturbed by me changing from being an econ major to a psych major, basically said if I was going to change from a psych major to a photography or art major, that I could take a loan out for the rest of my college career. So yeah, psychology sounded good. That was definitely where I stayed with it. It's interesting to be down here in this part of New Haven. When I lived here from 1996 through to 2002, this was pretty crappy. And Dollar General, generally a sign of a neighborhood that maybe isn't as up and coming as other neighborhoods might be, for those folks who aren't necessarily familiar with Americana, as it were. And we are about a block away from the New Haven Green at this point, approaching from the south. This must be a busy shop today, right? 420. I'm sure they're doing okay, the smoke shop. And look, good enough to have two smoke shops right next to each other. Must be something to it. Sorry for the quick turns there, guys. I'm moving fast, so I'm noticing things slightly behind me, but I am trying to be conscious of not panning quickly for you guys. I want to go and show you these churches on the New Haven Green. New Haven Green, I didn't realize this until I very recently was reading up in preparation for this quick walk through that we're doing right now.
Check this out.
Hi there. It turns out that these churches had graveyards that were placed. Hey guys, had graveyards that were placed around the churches. But when the green became like this center of the city, originally New Haven Green was called Market Square, but then eventually evolved in the 1800s to become the New Haven Green. And when that happened, they moved all of the headstones from around these churches that we're going to see, but they didn't remove the bodies. So the headstones all ended up at Grove Street Cemetery, which is like, I'd say probably like 15, 20 blocks away, but all the bodies remained. And hence one of the conditions for creating an unrestful spirit is disturbing their grave after their demise. Of course, the demise itself is one of the things that will cause an unrestful spirit as well. all more of that is coming later on. Diana says, "You are tall, Chris." How can you tell? How could you tell how tall I was? But it's true, I'm 6'5". I'm almost 2 meters tall. I got pulled over once right here. Right here, I made an illegal turn on a red light. After the light was red, I turned left on this corner. I got pulled over right over there with Peter Fong, my good friend, and we didn't get arrested, incredibly, even though we had an open bottle of wine in the car. God, we were idiots. Absolute idiots. So this side of the green is the south green, and we're just gonna walk kind of right across the middle of it, and I'm gonna show you what's around us as we go. Over here we have the United States Post Office and Courthouse. The green actually was you know, it's gone through a lot of iterations. I mean, in the middle of the green, actually, like looking in this direction, in the mid-1600s, you would have had stockades and like a pillory, you know, where thieves and, you know, anyone who was against the you want to say Pilgrim or Puritan settlers, or would act out against their laws, would be like put in shackles and put in the stocks, you know, with their hands and their head through it. And also in more modern times, this is where the Occupy New Haven protests would have been. Diana says she can tell by my height by the camera. Yeah, there you go. This is also where, not actually over here, but over this courthouse, over there, which we're heading towards, as we're gonna head this direction and then head up. Directly in front of us, this is where the Amistad trial took place, when that Spanish slave ship ran aground, and that whole trial that, you know, Matthew McConaughey starred in the documentary film about, took place here in New Haven. Anna Maria says she had a walk in Versailles today. Yeah, well, it's hard to beat Versailles. Those manicured French, like the French garden versus the English garden. It's a hard call. I like the English garden style as well because of the surprises of it, but it's hard to argue that Versailles is not one of the most absolutely gorgeous gardens in the world. So, okay, first over here, and then we're gonna head up. Yeah. So this street now, whilst it holds the old courthouse as well as the public library, which is to the left of it, this was sort of in the 1700s, heading to the 1800s. This was one of the nicest areas to live in New Haven. So you'd end up having your house, if you were a wealthy merchant, you would end up having your house over here along this stretch of road along the green. And until the 1750s, when the church drums, before even the bells would beat, you would come to the meeting houses. They weren't even called churches, they were meeting houses. So everyone would have to show up or would get in trouble. This here is the United Church on the green. One of the three. And over here, what you see is the Center Church on the green. That's the one who had a big graveyard in the back, which has now ended up being moved. Well, the stones have been moved. Behind that church, you have the Trinity Church, on the green. Michelle asks, is cannabis legal in Connecticut? I believe it is not. Although it feels like everything's moving in that direction. It's a good 420 kind of question. I'm going to see if we can't get in through the middle of Old Campus, because I can show you guys where I lived my freshman year really quick in Lawrence Hall. At least I can show you from the backside. Many nights I climbed in and out of that window. Also not many nights, but there was a couple nights. But the story really quick on Trinity Church, which is the last one. God, there's so little time and so much I want to show you guys. All right, well, Trinity's over there, the last one in the corner that you can see. And that's where Ezra Stiles, who was the name of the dorm that I lived in, my residential college at Yale. He was the guy that welcomed my ancestor, Robert Sandeman, to have him do his first sermon here in the New World when he arrived, as he too was fleeing from religious discrimination. He was probably a bit of a weirdo, I got to admit. Feast of Love, the Kiss of Peace, big foot washer, washed a lot of feet because, that's what Jesus Christ did, right? Washed feet. Is it open? Is it open? Is it open? It's closed, but maybe some undergraduate is going to let me in. If not, we're going to end up walking around. Ross asked, does Yale University have any big rivalry with any other Ivy League? Yeah, I mean, Harvard and Yale are the traditional big rivalry. And the Harvard-Yale boat race, is the oldest collegiate was the first sporting event, between colleges. So this is Phelps Hall. There are some classes that happen upstairs here. This is also where 2-Walk is. And 2-Walk was in here. And it was a great little job for me. It was a security job that in New Haven you could get to, as a student, an undergraduate, to walk people around who were afraid to walk around campus by themselves. And this is Old Campus. Now, Old Campus was the original Yale. And I'm just gonna take advantage of that open door really quick. Oh, and now I get to show you guys my buddy Nathan Hale. So this is the oldest part of campus, like the original campus, and all freshmen start off here before they end up moving to other locations. And here he is, the bad spy. Looks like he's got some Mardi Gras beads on. Good old Nathan Hale, Yale graduate. Not the smartest of us, but definitely the most patriotic of us. Class of 1773, but as you'll notice, he didn't make it to 1773. Looks like 1770. Huh. I thought he died after that, but guess not. And here you go, the famous quote. I only regret that I have, wait for it, but one life. To lose, I thought it was to give, to lose for my country. Boom. Okay. So, I see a security guard walking my direction. Maybe that was 76? Yeah, there you go. Thank you guys, it was 76. It's me not paying great attention to it. And this is me heading out of campus right now because I can feel security bearing down on my ass as I am walking to go. Oh, I'm locked in. Where's my blue button? Thank you, I appreciate that. Absolutely.
Oh, you're the man.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
It's teamwork. If we don't help each other, no one's gonna help us. You too. So maybe he wasn't kicking me out. He seemed friendly enough, but I noticed him, I start to develop eyes in the back of my head during these live streams, and I can tell that he was walking down one path. He changed his path to follow me a little bit. Now, the back of this here is Lawrence Hall. This is the hall that I grew up in. The year I spent, oh, sorry about that, jogger running by. This is where I spent a year. In fact, if that's entryway A, B, C, it's one of these windows down here on the, I think that was like my window right there. Pretty sure that was me. So, glory days. We're gonna be walking past Battelle Chapel in a second, which is another gorgeous building. Oh, I didn't even tell you guys about this. You know who helped design this park? Cass Gilbert. And what's his name? Central Park guy, Umsford. The guy that did Central Park also, together with Cass Gilbert, they helped design design New Haven Green. And their whole goal was that any building that should be built around the New Haven Green, you know, in the future after they kind of set it up, should be neoclassical style, made with Tennessee marble. And it didn't end up that way. Olmsted, thank you, Olmsted. See, I had it on the tip of my tongue. It's that beer and pizza hitting me hard. This building has, it's hard to tell from this angle, but there are tons of stained glass windows all around it. And they are Tiffany windows. And another guy as well. But Battelle Chapel inside, tons of oak benches and such. We're heading up Elm Street right now. New Haven is often called the Elm City, and that's interesting because New Haven suffered greatly from a very destructive disease that hit the US in general and killed tons and tons of elm trees. But then they ended up replanting 50 disease-resistant elm trees, which allowed for the New Haven Green to be covered with elms again, and for people to say, well, it's the Elm City. How about that? I think we should take advantage of this moment before traffic comes and cross over here and get ourselves to cross campus, as it's called, as we push ourselves north. I really, really want to show you guys the Beinecke Library before we wrap. And I mean, like, gosh, oh my goodness, we need like so much more time together. These Yale residential colleges, 12 residential colleges at Yale. You're randomly assigned to one when you first arrive. And the whole point is that I was assigned to Ezra Stiles College, the same guy who invited my ancestor to give his first sermon on the New Haven Green. Completely random. People thought for years later on, wait, it must have been a connection. They must have known. Yale knows everything. Like the CIA recruits heavily from Yale. But no, they didn't know. It was accidental. It was random selection. So, and guess what? Below everyone right now, all these people hanging out, just like being college kids and future smarty pants. Below them right now is an enormous number of books. Books. Because below us is Cross Campus Library, CCL, the bane of my existence. The number of nights I woke up at 2 a.m. being kicked out of CCL because I'd fallen asleep studying, cannot even count. Not nearly as beautiful as this building, which is your Sterling Memorial Library. And I don't know if you guys can tell, but if you look up towards the top of Sterling Memorial Library, you can see that there's like a weird misshaping of the building up there. And it's because on top of this building, there's actually a mini map of all of Yale campus. So that tall part there, like right, that guy, that's Harkness Tower right there. And Harkness Tower is this amazing, we're gonna see it again. Hold on a second, let me show it to you. Because it's right, it was on Yale campus when we were walking by, but I didn't do a good job of showing it to you. But we're going to see it really clearly right now. And you can see that it's a pretty close replica to it. You guys seeing that tower there through these trees? Actually, I'll end up walking that way to show you it even better in a second. But that tower that you see through the trees over here, that's Harkness Tower. And there's a carillon that plays on the hour at 6 o'clock. That's why it's playing right now. And you can actually learn to be one of those carillon players. And it's beautiful. Sometimes it's really cool stuff. Sometimes they're just playing normal stuff. Hey, Di, I'm so sorry that I literally fell asleep waiting for your tour last night. I mean, not because I was bored about it, because I was just like exhausted. So really quick, back to Sterling Memorial Library, because it is so precious. Gorgeous library inside. The green room in there was easily my favorite place to study. And up on top, you have that mini map, and inside you also have what's often, like underneath that rooftop map of New Haven, you've got the stacks. And stacks is where where a lot of the old books were, but not all of the old books, because the rest of the old books are going to be over at none other than the Beinecke Library, which is where we're going to be headed in un momento. Just 1 second. You're checking that out. Just pulling something up. All right, great. Yeah, they're beautiful. They're great. I mean, a lot of these are residential colleges, but here I want to show you guys something. It's not currently flowing, but this is the women's table. It's true, Di, we do too much live stream for sure. This is the women's table by none other than very famous female architect and Yale graduate, Maya Lin. Maya Lin is also famous for having designed the Vietnam Memorial in Washington, D.C. She actually did that whilst she was an undergraduate here at Yale College. So, I mean, she was under 22. I don't know exactly how old she was. Normally, you'd have water flowing over the top of this, but I guess it's winter right now still officially, and that's why it's not. But what it basically shows you on this table, it shows you the year, if you will. So like here is 1870, and you can see these are the years that Yale College has been in existence. And for all of these years, this is how many women were attending Yale College. And then 1870, 1, 2, 3, 1873, right? And then every year it's getting higher and higher and higher and higher. And this table tracks the, I mean, better late than never, but the progression towards the female population. And it's a great addition here. One of the very many beautiful pieces of artwork that we get to enjoy here on Yale's campus. Yeah, absolutely. It's important. It's an important reminder, you know, because I feel like one of the real problems with art often is that it doesn't remember the empty spaces, so to say. And the cool thing about that table is that it counts all the zero years as well. So we remember the empty spaces, which I think it's always important. So, yeah, this is actually kind of cool example. This is Trumbull College over here. We're not going to get in right now, but this is where the master's house would be. And there's a real question as to whether or not that terminology is appropriate any longer. And there's been some conflict over that particular question. So Anna Marie asks, any famous people ever go to Yale? Well, you got the Clintons, right? I mean, you got to look at undergraduate versus graduate. But yeah, no, I mean like tons. Myelin, she counts for sure as a famous undergrad here. Where am I going? Oh, sorry. I wanted to show you guys really quick before I get totally distracted. Harkness Tower. So Harkness, I can't remember his first name. I want to say it's like Alexander Harkness is what I want to go with. He not only has this tower named after him, but his entire educational system is something that was really important for me before I came to university here, because I went to a boarding school up in New Hampshire called Phillips Exeter Academy, and we learned on the Harkness model. And the basic concept was that you had to have small classes, not more than 13 people in a classroom, and you would sit around the table together. And when class would get going, the teacher would remove themselves from the group once the conversation was kind of happening. So that way the students themselves could implore their knowledge with one another. And when you would do exams, you would have little boards that would just pull out of the table, and you would all just spin your chairs and face one direction to allow yourself to... say again? Sure you can, man. Sure you can.
Yeah, man.
Here you go. What's your name? What's your name, brother?
My name's Gio. My friends dissed me.
Ah, they suck, man.
Bad friends.
Gio, where are you from? You from New Haven?
I'm from New Haven.
Right.
Oh, is this a mic?
It's a little mic, man.
Oh.
Little mic.
Damn, you're professional.
Well, we're trying to keep it real.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
So what's this year gonna hold for us? What do you think's coming this year? Positivity or negativity?
A lot of positivity. I'm a young man with a lot of potential and a lot of goals that I hope to accomplish one day, and I hope that people will look back at this video and say, wow, I can't believe this was Gio before the fame.
What's your YouTube channel?
I don't have one yet.
We got to work on that.
I know.
All right, you have a good day, brother. Stay safe.
You, man. Stay safe. Wear your mask. Come on.
Yeah, no, I already got one shot, one to go.
Oh, yeah, man. Stay safe.
You too, brother. This is happening more and more, guys. Like, people keep reaching out and trying to they want to be, there's something going on. I'm too old for this world. No, it's not true. I'm very happy with it all. Oh my God, this is now Patagonia. That messes with my head a little bit. That did not used to be a Patagonia. It used to be God, what was it? What was it called? Le Bon something or other. It's like a sandwich chain that made bagel sandwiches. Le Bon Petit or something. I don't know. Something like that. Oh, thank you. Yeah, great. Oh, you guys are doing famous people that went to Yale. Yeah, Jodie Foster, Meryl Streep, Sigourney Weaver was Yale graduate program, I believe. Claire Danes. I knew Claire Danes when I went to college here. What's the Clinton's daughter's name? I used to go to Yorkshire. I once sang, well, this is the famous Toad's Place here, which is like a nightclub and a party location where, I'm pretty sure the Rolling Stones, oh no, maybe this is where Jim Morrison got arrested at one point. Over here, you've got Maury's. That's a place where you go and you drink cups. And the cups were like these giant chalices that you would, Chelsea Clinton, thank you very much, Shannon, and Diana, appreciate that. You would drink these cups and you'd put them on your head when you'd finish the cup, and they were expensive. They were like $50 for this like giant chalice, like a trophy, if you will. And the rule was that if you finished it and you successfully completed the finishing, whoever didn't finish it right before you had to buy the next cup for the table, and like student budgets, like it was a lot of money. But if you failed to finish it properly, then you were in trouble, and then you had to buy the next cup. And they would sing a song as you were finishing the cup, and it would go, sing hallelujah, save another drunken bum, put a nickel on the drum, sing hallelujah, hallelujah, put a nickel on the drum and you'll be saved. And then like the song would go on, and you'd finish the cup and you'd put it on your head and you'd spin it around 3 times on your head. It wouldn't be so effective these days, but back then I had a whole head of hair. And then you would turn the cup upside down on 3 napkins, white napkins. And if there was a drop of color on them, you were buying the next cup. But if not, the guy in front of you who didn't take the chance, they bought the next cup. That was in that place right there, Maury's. Yeah. Yeah. This building here is the graduate school, yeah. President Ford and Taft. Oh, thanks, guys. You guys are good Googlers. I really appreciate that. You guys are excellent Googlers. So the graduate school right here. So no matter what like graduate program you were in, that would be like your main base of operations. But then all the graduate schools had their own schools as well. We're gonna spin around this way. Pretty sure that this is part of Sterling still. Does it go that far back? Or is this a residential college? My residential college was not this pretty. So, this is Yale Law School already here. You get lots of these kind of gargoyle-y fellows staring at us. Carefully skip over the daffodils, not hurt a flower, not on my watch. What is that guy thinking? What is that guy thinking? What are these guys all thinking? Yeah, beautiful day here. Ross asks, what's on my baseball cap? Ross, it is not a Yankees cap. It's Santa Barbara Maritime Museum hat. And I volunteered there briefly for a little while. Yeah, see, it is Sterling Memorial Library. I thought it was. I was looking at the back and I was like, yeah, there you go. Sterling Memorial Library still. Hey, Hale. Tell Jim I said what up. And you can see here the motto for Yale. Whereas Exeter was non sibi, not for oneself, Yale is lux et veritas. Who speaks Latin? Someone want to tell me what lux et veritas means? I know. Probably all the Latin I know. But if you know, let me know. This is the Sterling Law Building. You can smell the Clinton still on the building. This is where they spent a lot of time. And I'm working you guys over. Lux et veritas. Yeah, yes, exactly. Or Rebecca, what we were always taught was that lux et veritas actually is truth in light, or truth through light. Or light through truth. Well, light and truth. Yeah, there you go. So this building here, speaking of Licht und Wahrheit, is the Beinecke Rare Book Library. And this guy Beinecke, uber wealthy dude who made his fortune by printing stamps, by having like a stamp printing. And he wanted this building to look like a sheet of stamps from the outside. So that's the idea. But also at the same time, you can't really tell, but these walls are super, super thin. So these panels are actually uber thin marble. And the marble allows for light to pass into the building, right? But not UV light. Only like enough light to kind of illuminate the space enough for you to kind of see what's going on inside, so as not to hurt the rare books inside. Diana, actually, I'm not exactly sure. I'm not actually sure about what the exact Hebrew words were there, but I do know why there is so much Hebrew at Yale, and it's because for a long time, actually, Ezra Stiles, as the college, or the dean of Yale College, or the president of Yale College, excuse me, he insisted that all freshmen had to learn Hebrew their freshman year, and it was so unpopular that there was like a near revolt amongst the student body, and they eventually pushed back, and he said, well, look, fine, only people that want to learn Hebrew freshman year, need to study it. And then they stopped teaching Hebrew as something for freshmen because people didn't want to do it in the end of the day. But amongst the many rare books that are inside the Beinecke Library, we've got a Gutenberg Bible in here. And I think there's only 3 Gutenberg Bibles in the country, but one of them's in there. All right, so yeah, Anna Maria, you're right. Anna Maria writes the library at Trinity College is pretty amazing. And I what's it called again? The Kells Library or something like that. It is a really incredible space, and I feel like there's a Harry Potter connection to that library as well. So we've got a World War I memorial here in front of this is actually the Commons Dining Hall. Every Yale college has its own dining hall and its own gym, but this particular one is where the Book of Kells. Thank you, Folly Dude. You guys are great. It's like a very intelligent, educated community. So we are looking at, famous battles from World War I where people lost their lives. And this space would be both an event space, this kind of neoclassical design with these Corinthian columns, as well as it's the main dining hall for anyone that wanted to could eat there. I'm going to try to get into Wolsey Hall, but they might very well not let me in. I'm going to see if I can magically magic myself through these doors. I've got a mixed feeling about this. Ain't happening right now. Ain't gonna happen. Yale was overrated, guys. Don't feel weird about it. They used to say the most important grade you were ever going to get at Yale was the A in Yale. But oh yeah, Skull and Bones. All right, so we have a choice now. Either I can take you to the old gym and show you that, and walk by my old residential college, aka the Mexican prison, Ezra Stiles and Morse colleges. Or we can go and see Skull and Bones Crypt right now. So Folly's already said Skull and Bones, so that's 1 for Skull and Bones. I'm gonna need you guys to chime in. We've got another crypt right over here anyway, so I'm gonna show you this one right away. And then either I'm gonna have to, because we've hit an hour and 15 minutes, and I'm about a half an hour walk away from my car, and then a 2-hour drive back to New York. So time is really smart. Future Yale graduates. Oh gosh, does make me wish. Okay, well, I mean, there's a lot of Skull and Bones, so that's what it's gonna have to be. And I will now say to anyone that has to go, because it has been an hour and 16 minutes, thank you so much for coming. If you need to run, you should run now. Please do not stay on my behalf, although I am grateful for you being around and spending time together with me. But if you got to run, like, now is not a bad time for it. Now, Chris, remember which one this was? I feel like this crypt is, I want to say it's Scroll and Key, but maybe it's Snake and Book. But this is what a crypt looks like, right? And the way that secret society worked, we're going to go to, yes, Ross, there is direct train service to New Haven from New York. It's a good train, actually. It's not a bad one. Hour and 45 minutes. The secret about these secret societies is that it's just something that you do your senior year, and you get tapped as a junior. It's your 3rd year, right, out of 4, and there's a tap night, and they show up, and they kind of like They tap you, literally, while you're at work or doing something else or in the library. They find you, they know where you are, and they invite you with a piece of paper or whisper in your head, and they tell you, like, skull and bones, scroll and key, spade and grave. That's what happens. And you're like, okay, I guess I'm gonna do that one. And it's like Skull and Bones is clearly the one that you're hoping. Like, if you wanted to get into one of those, that's the one. Because, like, these guys, they don't have an island in Maine. These guys, they're not giving you top-ups. Skull and Bones, right? And we're gonna sorry, I thought they were still back there. No, we're okay. We're gonna go over there now, and I'm gonna show you Skull and Bones. I'm gonna keep on telling you the story about that. Oh, should we go around? We'll go the long way, because people that had to leave have already left. So we're just gonna walk around this direction. And you see the science building. We'll make a loop over, and then we're gonna end in front of Skull and Bones. So, no, I don't believe so. Nothing would happen to that, but nonetheless, there is still a question as to, well, Skull and Bones definitely has a lot of connections into the CIA. This is Silliman College, by the way. This was one of only 2 colleges where you lived in your college as a freshman already. Actually kind of cool, my friends who went to Silliman say, who were in Silliman, because you knew the upperclassmen the entire time. It wasn't like you were reintroduced to them later on. But big college. So what was the point of the secret societies? By the way, so science building, can't remember the name, didn't take a lot of science classes. And then that road there in front of us, that road here goes up to, it goes up to all sorts of stuff. It goes up to like the Yale Whale, like the hockey rink, and it also goes up to the School of Management, the Yale Business School. So Anne-Marie asks, if I could go back in time, would I still choose to study at Yale? It's an interesting question. And yes, of course I would, 100%. Let's cross over the street really quick and take a look at the Grove Street Cemetery. This is where those gravestones that were over on the New Haven Green got moved to. Anne-Marie, the reason why I'd have to say yes is because I'm going to show how tall I can be, guys. Whoa, hold on, little microphone. All right, there we go, better microphone now. The reason why, Anne-Marie, is because my friends went here. And I can't imagine not having those people as my friends now. Like, they're the best thing, about college, often for me. I mean, the education was incredible, but you know what? To be honest with you, just because someone was a world-class, and I mean like incredibly world-class professor who had been published, written dozens of books, was like almost celebrity professors. Didn't necessarily mean that they were great teachers or educators. And they weren't often. We've got another crypt coming up here. I'll show you guys not only these secret societies as we talk more about what they actually were. Now, this one is definitely Snake and Book. Or Scroll and Key. It's definitely one of those two. But yeah, you get another feeling for what these crypts are. And the idea was that we would meet in your senior year twice a week, and you would spend like 3 to 4 hours on Thursdays and Sunday nights with the group of people who were in your secret society. And wait, is this gonna give it away? No, thought that might be. Oh yeah, here it is. It is. See? Snake and Book. That's how we can remember snakes. So, oh, guys, look. The gate is open. What is today? Tuesday? No, doesn't make sense. Shouldn't be open on Tuesday. Thursdays and Sundays are the big days. And you'd be gathered in the old days, like 1800s. I think it was like 1840s or 50s. It's pre-Civil War when they first started with the secret societies, and they were actually debate clubs. I think this is a really cool gate right here. How cool is this? This brown stone. The dead shall be raised. Huh? Beautiful in the light here too. So on Thursdays, well, in the old days, like I was saying in the 1800s, they were debate societies. That was it. That's really what they were. Secret societies were for you to come together and debate with other men who were there before women were admitted to the college. And not that crazy, right? Not that exciting. And then it became really like a connections thing. Because after a few generations of Yale graduates having been part of certain secret societies, now is a lot more than just like a chance for debate. It's a chance for hookups and connections. And no one more than Skull and Bones, where we're headed to now, was good at like that thing, like the hookup thing. So, no joke, if you are a member of Skull and Bones and you graduate from Yale College and you make less than $100,000 when you graduate, for the first 10 years after you graduate, Skull and Bones increases your salary to $100,000. They top you up. They make up the difference for you. This is the gym. Sort of point it out real quick and then we're going to turn. This is the Payne Whitney gym. And when they started building it, the woman who donated the money for it, on behalf of her husband actually, who had died and left her the money, she said, look, I want to build a church. And Yale University was like, nah, we don't really need a church right now. We had a lot of churches. What we really need is a gym. And she was like, yeah, no, I want to build a church. And they're like, okay, fine, we're going to build a church for you. And you know what they did? They slow worked her. They started building the church. Slowly, slowly, slowly. And this poor old lady passed away. And right away they were like, get out the pews, bring in the machinery, it's a gym now. And that's exactly what happened. Yeah. It wasn't clear in her donation. It didn't stipulate that they couldn't change course later on. So, sorry, there goes your church. We're gonna make it a gym instead. And it is an amazing gym. In fact, we used to say that it was the largest gym in the free world because there was a larger gym in the Soviet Union. And it's debatable whether the Soviet Union is really free. I mean, Russia. Sorry, I got nothing against them. What have I done? I can't believe I said something like that. I'm so sorry. Меня зовут Chris. My name is Chris in Russian. I've got nothing against the Russians, especially not Russian hackers. I can't afford that type of stuff. I don't have cybersecurity like that. I've got some, but not like crazy cybersecurity. I'm all for them. Okay, enough of that. Let's talk about something else. Skull and Bones, that's where we're headed. Oh wait, we've already walked. Oh no, I've backtracked a little bit. Not what I wanted to do. Cathedral of Exercise, it's true. Sorry, you guys got me distracted with the Russia stuff. I once saw Moby play here at Toad's, and he stage dived on top of me, and he was so sweaty and gross that I had to drop him. And I and everyone else did too. He was just a disgusting mess of sweatness. Turns out, I'd actually come to meet him later on in life because my buddy Tom Cragg, his wife, Melissa, was Moby's personal assistant for 5 to 10 years or something. She now is Will Smith's personal assistant. How about that? So, still, I have not gotten any free sneakers. Not the best pizza. Not the best pizza in New Haven. Okay, so what else we got here? You guys want to hear? We're walking over to Skull and Bones. We're heading over in that direction right now. We're going to walk just to the north of Oh, should we walk by? Well, we're heading to Skull and Bones regardless. I think we are going to swing by really quick past what used to be the Art and Architecture building, but I think it's not anymore. But I'm pretty sure there's some serious art pieces right in front of it. Let's see if this light's going to change. For me, I don't have time to wait. Time is money. We got to go. This is a famous clothing shop. Just worth pointing out real quick. It's called, oh my God, what? This used to be J Press. And there used to be, God, so much stuff is different. No, J Press is gonna be around the corner now. Thank you guys, sorry. Thanks for putting up with me. Here, this must be, where'd it go? Nope, it's gone. Well, how about that? But where it used to be this famous clothing shop, now there's a bookstore, so I can't argue with that. I'm happy for the bookstore. You don't find bookstores that often. Oh, J Press. Visit our temporary home at 206 College Street. Okay, well, famous clothing. Not here now. George Bush. Yes, George Bush is, the Bushes are famous members of, at least senior, of Skull and Bones, where we're headed to. So yeah, $100,000. I mean, how do you guys not find that to be nuts? I find that crazy. Like the idea that just because I was part of a group of people for a year, that if I only graduated and made 60,000, I'd have to, you know, this is a great Davenport College. So on the outside, you've got this Gothic going on, but on the inside, they have this kind of like, I don't know if you can tell. Oh, come on. There's a kind of Victorian style going on inside, but I don't have the key card, and that's what you need these days. You need the key card, and I guess only students beyond this point. There are no current tours allowed on the campus, so this is once again an illegal tour that we're pulling off here for you guys. So the other Ivy League schools, Ross asks, are Yale, well, you got Yale, Harvard, big rivalry, Princeton, the only Ivy that the Southern aristocracy are willing to send their children to because hasn't been ruined by liberal ideas. This is the Yale Alumni Association, so when you have a reunion, you kind of end up back here. This here is the University Theater and like Yale Drama. So if you're a Yale Drama graduate student, this is where you're putting on stuff as well. The Yale Repertory Theater, really cool space and really amazing list of graduates. What else do we have? So we're at Princeton. We've got Dartmouth, which is up in Hanover, New Hampshire. It's the cold Ivy, but they have a cool thing where they have summer session for like June, July, and you get like January, February off to go travel or something because it's so cold. You only do that, well, I think it's your junior year that you have summer session, which is pretty neat. In New York, definitely the coldest. Well, no, it's not the coldest. The saddest, the most depressing of all the Ivies. The Yale Daily News might be the oldest collegiate newspaper. And those are their building. That's that little building right there. Cute little spot. Yeah, the Gorges. The Gorges of Ithaca. And that's Cornell up there. And then UPenn, University of Pennsylvania, is an Ivy. What have I got now? Harvard, Yale, Princeton, Dartmouth, UPenn, Cornell, and Columbia, of course. Columbia University. Yep, and here's the School of Architecture. This is where I learned photography, down in the basements of this place. And also learned how to smoke cigarettes, really. Not one of the best things for me to have taken with me. So if that was the Yale Theater, this is the Yale Repertory Theater. Whereas over there, where we were before, is where people are like practicing. This is like a proper, like a serious no joke theater in there. Oop. This is so much fun, guys. I'm really enjoying like this walk down memory lane with you. But we've gone 1 hour and 32 minutes, which means that once we get over to Skull and Bones, we will end the tour in about 8 minutes in front of Skull and Bones. And that will be a day. That will be all of it. This is the Yale University Art Gallery right here. One of the cool things about the Yale University Art Gallery, I believe it's unfortunately closed to the public until further notice. That's what the sign there says. But one of the really cool things about it is that the enormous amount of art that was donated and the endowment behind it was under, there was one stipulation, which is that they could never charge entrance, or they'd have to give up all of the stuff that's in there. You know, they couldn't keep it any longer. So it's still free, except that it's closed. So. Okay, hey Michaela, danke sehr, einen wunderschönen guten Abend, Traumschön und süße Träume, alles andere ist Gutes für dich. Wir sehen uns irgendwann in der nahen Zukunft, wahrscheinlich dieses Wochenende, wenn nicht früher. First Starbucks in New Haven right there. How about that? And here we go. We're gonna go under this cool thing that makes you think of Venice, also Prague. Hopefully won't lose connection. Dun 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 dun. Dun dun. We're there. Skull and Bones. I'm gonna get you guys as close as I can. Don't think for a second that they're not watching us right now. I wouldn't be surprised if this live stream just cuts off all of a sudden. And, but you know, nothing to be scared about. No bodies in there, Shannon. No one being nailed into coffins, although apparently they've got some weird initiation stuff, but not as weird as it once was, I imagine. And we've come around in a circle. I know you guys are completely disoriented, but that's old campus again over there. I used to actually work security right here, right in this space. I was a security guard for a little while, keeping Yale students out of going through this particular gate while they're doing reconstruction on this building right here. So, all right, hour and a half, it's time to cut it. I'll probably end up cutting the food part from the very beginning and just start with us walking out towards Wooster Square. You guys are awesome. Thanks so much for staying with me, for those who are still here. I really appreciate it. It's always a blast to hang out with you guys and do a little midweek live streaming. Loud bike. Always a pleasure. And I take requests, so if there's other stuff that you want to see that we're not seeing yet, keep telling me, keep letting me know. I'll be back on the road again in the not too distant future. And you know, I've got this trip up to Portland, Maine that's organized. Got a free place to stay on a buddy's boat there, so it's going to be awesome. We're also going to be able to head out to Chicago in the not too distant future, and I'll be able to take you guys with me and show you that as well. And yeah, miss you too, brother. Tío, amigo, hermano. Thank you, Anne-Marie. Have a good night. Shannon, thanks for sticking with me today. I really appreciate it. Hope everyone's feeling better. I've got my second shot on Thursday, so just 2 days to go. Diana, bye-bye. Have a good evening. Hopefully I'll be good for the weekend, but Saturday we've got 3 tours, and Sunday we'll be live streaming in Spanish in Central Park. So 3 tours in English on Saturday, 1 tour in Spanish on Sunday. Might be another pop-up on Sunday, we'll see what happens. Oh gosh, Yale is just so beautiful. Such a pretty campus. I wish I could teleport back to New York rather than driving for 2 hours right now. The good news is I got a crap load of pizza in the car to eat as I go. So let me just say goodbye. I won't talk anymore, but in 1 minute from now, I'm going to turn off the camera. But I'm just going to leave you guys with this final image of Old Campus, where all these freshmen are still hanging out, living the best life they can. Hey. All right, guys. I hope you all have a great Tuesday night, or Tuesday afternoon, or Tuesday morning, or Wednesday morning if you die and you're in Tokyo right now. Wherever you guys are, just know that you're not alone. We're in it together, and we're almost through it. The light is almost all around us, and the tunnel is almost behind us. Goodbye, New Haven. Goodbye, Yale.